in a country where breakfast costs less than a stick of gum, where the most beautiful women in Southeast Asia ride motorcycles at 5 in the morning with a smile that wakes anyone up, and where a cold beer costs you 20 cents. It's not a dream, it's Vietnam, a country of 102 million souls that never stops, never sleeps, and will never ever leave you indifferent. Today, we're going to travel it from north to south. And I'll give you a heads up. There are things in this video you're going to want to watch twice, and others you won't be able to forget even if you try. Vietnam is that country many people can vaguely locate on a map of Southeast Asia, but few know exactly what shape it has. Well, it's shaped like the letter S, a long, thin, winding strip that stretches from north to south like a king cobra resting by the sea. To the north, it borders China, to the west, Laos and Cambodia, and to the east opens the sea with a coastline that seems designed for whoever wants to watch sunsets from a hammock with something cold in hand. Its surface area is smaller than Mexico, but it fits inside 102 million people divided into 54 different ethnic groups. The political capital is Hanoi in the north, but the economic engine, the place where money flows, business never stops, and the party never ends, is Ho Chi Minh City, which the locals still affectionately call Saigon, and you'll understand very well why when we get to that segment. And one detail worth its weight in gold: 40% of Vietnamese people share the last name Nguyen. If you shout Nguyen in the middle of the street, get ready for a crowd. And if I told you that this small S-shaped country holds one of the most brutal and lucrative businesses in the world, we'll get there. But first, you have to survive the traffic. Forget about the traffic in your cities. That's classical music compared to what happens in Vietnam. The country has more than 77 million registered motorcycles. To give you an idea, it's as if every Mexican had 1.5, and they all decided to go out at the same time without respecting any traffic light. In cities like Ho Chi Minh, motorcycles represent 90% of vehicles. A red light is more of a suggestion. The sidewalk is an extra lane, and seeing a father driving with the mother, 2 kids, and probably a portable cooler behind him is perfectly normal. But here's what's fascinating. What looks like total chaos has its own order. It's like a flock of birds flying in formation without ever having rehearsed. Nobody stops completely, but everyone yields. It's a language without words, an unwritten code that only Vietnamese people master and that any tourist tries to decipher from the curb, frozen like a statue. And crossing the street, pay attention, gentlemen, crossing the street in Vietnam is an extreme sport. The secret the locals share: walk slowly. Steady step, don't stop. The motorcycles will dodge you on their own. Stopping in the middle is a fatal mistake. It sounds crazy, and it works every time. Now, if you manage to cross without a hair out of place, on the other side awaits something that doesn't exist anywhere else in the world. In Vietnam, life doesn't happen indoors. The house is only for sleeping. Everything that matters, eating, working, socializing, flirting, happens in the street, on the sidewalk, on a 20-centimeter plastic stool that the Vietnamese call the royal throne. At 5 in the morning, when in other countries the rooster hasn't even crowed, the sidewalks are already alive. Street kitchens are steaming, broths are bubbling, and the women, who make up 51% of that population of 102 million, are already on their feet, selling, cooking, carrying baskets, weaving through motorcycles. They are the backbone of this country and always have been. Even in the war, they carried weapons. And here's a detail that more than a few of you will appreciate. Vietnamese women have the habit of covering themselves from the sun: gloves, masks, and hats. But when they uncover themselves, gentlemen, the story changes completely. The traditional dress, the áo dai, a strip of silk that embraces the figure and flies in the wind, is simply a work of art in motion. Seeing young women in their white áo dai cycling through the old town of Hoi An is the kind of image one doesn't easily forget, even if they try. And what do those hard-working hands place on the low hill? Ah, get ready, because what's coming is going to make you doubt everything you thought you knew about a market. If you think you know markets, the one in your city, Vietnam is going to completely reset you. Vietnamese markets don't just sell tropical fruits, fabrics, and spices. They sell everything that breathes and moves. In the markets of Saigon or in the rural areas of the South, it's perfectly normal to find cages stacked to the ceiling with live snakes ready for lunch, frogs jumping between buckets, eels writhing on crushed ice, and field rats, called rice rats, roasted on skewers with a presentation that, curiously, smells quite good. Yes, grilled rats. And the locals eat them with the same naturalness that others order a hamburger. Protein is protein, gentlemen. And it doesn't stop there. Vietnam has a tradition of exotic animal farms that surprises anyone. Cobra farms, yes, cobra farms, where they raise snakes to sell the meat, the skin, the bile, and even the blood, which is mixed with rice liquor as an energizing tonic. The Vietnamese attribute properties to it that their doctors would never confirm on paper, but that the locals swear work. Who knows? The market in Vietnam is not a place you go to shop. It's a 2-hour show with free admission, where each stall is a different scene, and where the smell, the noise, and the color enter your body without asking permission. Now, if the cobras and the rats already stirred your stomach, the next business is going to leave you completely speechless, because it has teeth, many teeth. But before we get there, and you'll thank me for it, we have to make a mandatory stop. Because in Vietnam, no serious conversation starts without a cup of coffee in hand. Vietnam is the second largest coffee exporter in the world, only behind Brazil. But here, it's not drunk in a hurry. Vietnamese coffee is a ritual. A small metal filter deposits thick coffee drop by drop over condensed milk. You sit and wait. Then ice. First sip, bitter, sweet, deep, triple the strength of an Italian espresso. In Hanoi, there's even egg coffee, a yolk beaten with condensed milk and coffee with a tiramisu-like texture, served in a glass. For the more adventurous, the famous café chaud, whose beans have passed, well, through an animal's digestive system before being roasted. It's one of the most expensive in the world. The flavor, they say, is priceless. The origin, best not to think about it too much. And if coffee is the heartbeat of the morning, Bia Hoi, the local craft beer, is the heartbeat of the afternoon. It's brewed every day, served in plastic cups directly from barrels on the sidewalk, and costs 20 cents. Yes, gentlemen, 20 cents, with boiled peanuts on the side and the noise of the city in the background. At these Vietnamese terraces, the company director sits next to the truck driver. Here, everyone is brothers. And if you think the cheapness ends with the beer, wait until you see what it costs to live well in Vietnam. The GDP per capita in Vietnam hovers around $5,100 annually. The average salary is between $320 and $335 a month. And for someone traveling with euros or dollars, that means one very specific thing. You live like a king for little. A street meal, $1 to $2. A mid-range hotel, $6 to $8 a night. A grab ride, the local Uber, $2. A full-body professional massage with oils at a decent spa, between $10 and $15. And getting a haircut on the street with a cranial massage and ear cleaning included costs $2. With $50 a day in Vietnam, you have 3 meals, transportation, tourist visits, and nighttime beers. That same amount in any European capital doesn't even cover dinner. That's exactly why Vietnam has become one of the most sought-after destinations in the world. People don't go just for the culture or the landscape. They go because there, for the first time in a long time, they feel like money is enough for something again. Now, if Vietnam is famous for its prices and culture, there's a business that few people know about that moves millions. A business with teeth, literally. Remember when I told you about the cobra farms? Well, that was just the appetizer, because Vietnam has more than 1,000 registered crocodile farms. 1,000. And they're not small. There are ponds with hundreds of specimens stacked as if there's no tomorrow. The Asian Siamese crocodile is practically extinct in the wild. There are perhaps 1,000 wild specimens left in the entire world, but in Vietnamese farms, there are millions. It's the most mind-blowing paradox on the planet. Disappeared outside, industrialized inside. And what is all this for? So that someone in Paris or Milan can carry a bag that came out of these ponds. The leather of a 2-year-old crocodile, the most coveted, soft skin and perfect scales, is worth $400 to $500 here in Vietnam. That same leather with the right logo stamped on it becomes a $30,000 or $40,000 bag. All handmade by Vietnamese artisans who earn $300 a month. The irony of global luxury served on and the cherry on top, the major European brands refuse to put the crocodile's head on the product because it looks too cruel. Using all the skin, perfect. The head, unacceptable. Isn't that considerate? What's left of the animal goes to traditional medicine, the crushed bones to treat bone diseases, and whatever's left of that goes straight to the farm's own restaurant. Grilled crocodile ribs, $8. Nothing is wasted. Absolutely nothing. Now that you know the rawest side of the Vietnamese business world, let me show you the side that takes your breath away for completely different reasons. Vietnam is not just noise, motorcycles, and business. It's also a nature that cuts your breath. Ha Long Bay, whose name means where the dragon descends to the sea, is a spectacle of miles of limestone islands that emerge from emerald waters. No photo filter does it justice. To the north, bordering China, is Sapa, with its terraced rice fields of such intense green they look like stairways carved toward the sky. And then there's the best-kept secret, Sun Dung Cave in Phong Nha, the largest cave on the planet, so immense that a 40-story building could fit inside it, and it has its own interior ecosystem, jungle, river, its own climate system. It's like a world within a world. A custom few people know. In Vietnam, it's tradition to bury ancestors directly in the rice fields, under the belief that from there they continue watching over the harvests. Vietnamese rice fields are literally land of the living and the dead coexisting in harmony. Now, to truly understand Vietnam, you have to go where the country keeps its deepest wounds. Vietnam is not a country that hides its history. It carries it with pride, like scars that are shown, not covered up. The Cu Chi tunnels, 70 kilometers from Saigon, are a labyrinth of more than 250 kilometers dug by hand, where Vietnamese soldiers lived, fought, and operated on their wounded under the feet of the American Army without being detected. They're so narrow your shoulders brush the walls, so low you have to crawl on all fours. And that's the section open to tourists, which has already been widened so we can fit. In Saigon, the War Remnants Museum tells the part of history that Western books tend to skip. Tanks, planes, and photographs that no one should see without something moving inside them. Many people leave with wet eyes, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. If there's a people that understands what it means to survive centuries of pressure without losing their identity, it's Vietnam. China dominated them for 1,000 years. France colonized them for almost a century. The United States fought one of the hardest wars of the 20th century against them. And here they still stand, with their 20-cent beer and their smile that baffles everyone. And to close this journey, there's one question that never fails among those who've already been here. When are you coming back? And football, because football unites everything, is a shared religion. At 2 in the morning, Saigon's cafes are packed watching the league. Real Madrid and Barcelona have millions of fans. If you want to break the ice with any Vietnamese person, Barca or Madrid. The conversation lasts hours and ends with a shared bia hoi. As night falls, Saigon lights up with blue and purple neons. Bui Vien Street vibrates with an energy reminiscent of the most famous party districts in Europe, but with its own stamp. Beer on the sidewalk, instant cocktails, open-air DJs, and motorcycles passing through the crowd right in the middle of the pedestrian zone. Dance and dodge them at the same time, gentlemen. And to top off the night, or the day, depending on the hour, the Vietnamese massage. 1 hour from head to toe with oils and expert hands, between $10 and $20 depending on the place. In Mexico, you'd pay 10 times more and you'd hardly come out as renewed. Vietnam is not a destination. It's an experience that is going to change your perspective on many things. And if you made it this far, you already know the world still has many corners just as incredible waiting for you. The next video is right there on screen. Don't miss it. I'll see you there. Did you know that in Japan there is a place where you can attend your own funeral and you are still alive? Or that their women spend thousands of dollars just to have a handsome man talk to them? Today, you are going to discover the 10 most incredible, unusual, and even a bit spicy realities of one of the most fascinating countries on the planet. And the best part, as always, we saved it for the end. Japan, a country in the far east of Asia, surrounded by ocean on all sides, roughly the size of California, and with enough madness inside to fill 10 videos. And I'm not telling you this to exaggerate. I'm telling you because what you are about to hear is so real, so unusual, and so fascinating that by the end of this video, you will be looking for flights. So hold on tight, because we are getting started. Welcome to Tokyo. 37 million people in a single metropolitan area. If Tokyo were a country, it would be bigger than Canada, and yet it has almost no traffic. Trains arrive to the exact second, and if one is delayed by a minute, the station gives you a delay certificate so you can present it at work. A certificate for 1 minute. That's how they are. The Shibuya crossing is the visual proof of all this. When the traffic light changes, more than 3,000 people cross from all directions at the same time. It is the most orderly chaos that exists, and what is not seen from above is just as impressive. Underground, there is a second Tokyo. Hundreds of kilometers of tunnels with shopping malls, restaurants, offices, and stations. There are people who spend whole days without coming to the surface. Not because they don't want to, but because they literally don't need to. And walking through this city has something that catches your attention. There are almost no people begging on the street or sleeping on a bench. Not because that reality doesn't exist, but because Japanese culture experiences it in a different way. Losing one's home is considered such a deep personal failure that those who experience it prefer to stay out of sight in silence without asking anyone for anything. Then hunger. With that foundation, it is no surprise that Japan is also a powerhouse that the world underestimates in more than one sense. The next number explains it to you. When night falls in Japan, the country turns on another engine. The izakaya, which are traditional Japanese bars, fill up with people coming straight from work wanting to let go of everything from the day. Sake, shochu, chicken skewers, edamame, sashimi, and in many places, the famous nomi hodai. You drink all you want for a fixed time for a fixed fee. The Japanese invented the all-inclusive before resorts even existed. Karaoke here is not what you know. Forget about singing in front of strangers while enduring the embarrassment. In Japan, you have your own private room with a big screen, professional microphone, and a catalog in several languages. You sing with whoever you want, however you want, and nobody judges you. It is liberating in a way you didn't expect. And all this happens in one of the safest countries on the planet. You can walk alone at 2 in the morning without worrying. That, in many cities in the world, is a luxury that is priceless. But if you think the Japanese night already has its charm, wait until you meet those who star in it, because the next number talks about Japanese women, and I swear you won't imagine it. There is something about Japanese women that the whole world notices, but very few know how to explain well. It is not just their appearance, it is a whole universe. Their style is called kawaii, a sweet, innocent charm almost from another era. Luminous and soft skin, silky hair, elegant clothing without being exaggerated. And most surprising of all, many look 10 or 15 years younger than they are. You get introduced to someone and she tells you she is 45 years old, and you still don't believe her. Her voice sounds like a melody, soft, clear, slightly high-pitched, and even their way of walking has its own name. Pigeon-toed, with the tips of the feet slightly inward with every step, which gives them a timid and delicate air that many find irresistible. But make no mistake, they are not timid, not at all. In Japan, there are the so-called host clubs, elegant bars where attractive and well-dressed men are hired to converse, serve drinks, and make female clients feel like the most special women in the world. The detail, they pay, and they pay well. A night can cost from hundreds to several $1,000s. The most enthusiastic ones even spend tens of thousands just to spend more time with their favorite host. Some see it as luxury entertainment, others as the companionship that modern life doesn't give them. What is clear is that it is a millionaire industry that says a lot about a country where loneliness also has a price tag. Tell us in the comments from where you are watching us. We love to know from what corner of the world our people are joining us. Here, it is no exaggeration, the Japanese are running out. The birth rate has been plummeting for decades and today stands at just 1.2 children per woman, one of the lowest in the world. Every year, more than 1.5 million people die and only about 770,000 are born. The population evaporates by nearly 800,000 people per year. If that doesn't change, by the year 2720, there could be only one Japanese child under 14 left in an entire prefecture. Just one. Welcoming the tourists. In the village of Nagoro, it is already visible today. Fewer than 30 inhabitants, all over 70 years old. To fill the silence, an old woman made more than 350 life-sized rag dolls and placed them all over the town. On the benches, in the closed school, at the doors of the houses. A town of dolls where there used to be families. The government has tried everything. Subsidies per baby, free houses for families with children, artificial intelligence to match singles, and even a plan to bring 500,000 young people from India, officially for labor. On social media, people are already imagining other reasons, and well, maybe they are not so wrong. And if you think the Japanese are creative at solving the birth rate, wait until you see what they invented to solve other problems of daily life. Are you afraid of difficult conversations? In Japan, it's no longer your problem. You can hire someone to break off your relationship for you. You give them the details, they send a professional, they talk to your ex, they say everything you couldn't, they recover your things, delete photos from social media, and even reorganize your room so you aren't tempted by memories. All for a transparent fee. Did you mess up at work or with a relative? There is a professional apology service. Someone arrives, bows at the exact angle, uses the precise words, and assumes the blame with absolute seriousness. From a few dollars to several hundred, depending on how serious the mistake was. And the strangest of all, you can attend your own funeral in life. You lie down in a coffin, they dress you up, people pray for your soul, and you are there completely alive watching. The purpose? They say it is to reconnect with life from another perspective. It sounds like a movie, but it is a real service with a waiting list. In Japan, if a need exists, a service already exists to cover it. Even if that need is for someone to scold you in your own home because you feel you are living poorly, that can also be hired. And do you know where all that ingenuity comes from? From a country that no longer lives in the present. Japan has been living in the year 2050 for decades, and the next number is going to make you feel like you are in the past. The first thing that impacts you about Japan is its technology. The toilets have heating, motion sensors, warm water jets, automatic deodorization, and lids that open by themselves. In airports, some even give you the weather forecast. The toilet, the weather forecast. Convenience stores already operate without cashiers. You take what you need, you pay by yourself, and you leave. Parking lots receive your car, lift it, rotate it, and store it by themselves. The streets have tactile paving for the visually impaired on a national scale. And in cities like Sapporo, the pavement has hot water pipes that melt the snow automatically, without shovels, without salt, without complaints. Their public restrooms and parks are made of transparent glass when they are empty, so you can see that they are clean. When you enter and lock the door, the glass turns opaque instantly. Japan solves problems that the rest of the world hasn't even detected yet. And behind all that technology, there is a muscle that the world underestimates. Their self-defense forces have 247,000 elite soldiers, more than 150 warships, and more than 120 F-35 fighters. Only the United States has more of that model. Their constitution forbids them from having a conventional army, but in practice, they already have everything necessary. It is not a paper tiger. It is a tiger that simply hasn't needed to roar yet. That same depth that Japan has in the modern world, it also has in the spiritual. And what you will find there will surprise you more than you imagine. In almost any part of the world, a Buddhist monk means chastity, vegetarianism, and total austerity. In Japan, that concept has another definition. Japanese monks can marry, have children, eat meat, drink sake, and continue with their religious role without any contradiction. Many temples are inherited from fathers to sons as if they were a family business. Today, they have a website, a mobile app, wedding and funeral services, an online amulet shop, yoga classes, and even a cafe in the courtyard. But if it is mystery we are talking about, nothing beats what lies at the foot of Mount Fuji. The Aokigahara Forest, known simply as the Forbidden Forest. For decades, thousands of people have entered it, and not all have come out. Those who visit it report that phones lose signal, compasses spin on their own, and GPS stops working. The volcanic rocks beneath the ground have an extremely high magnetism that explains it scientifically, although that doesn't entirely convince the guides who recommend entering with a rope tied to your belt to mark the way back just in case. And then there is Inunaki, a village in Fukuoka that officially does not exist on any map, but local people swear that it does exist. Those who have searched for it claim to have found dead ends, abandoned houses, and signs that say, "The law has no effect here." The Japanese government never confirmed nor denied its existence. That, my friend, is the most terrifying thing of all. Japan has layers that never end. And before showing you the destinations you cannot miss seeing, there is something practical you need to know if you ever decide to go. Before you start packing your bags, we need to talk about two things: how much it costs to live there and how not to get into trouble from day one. In cities like Tokyo or Osaka, a one-bedroom apartment near the center costs between $800 and $1,200 a month. The subway costs between $1 and $1.50 per trip, and eating well on the street, a good ramen, costs between $4 and $6. In total, living alone and comfortably requires between $1,200 and $1,500 a month. It is not cheap, but when you see everything that money includes, it might even seem like a bargain. Now, once you arrive, you better know the unwritten rules. On the subway, absolute silence. No talking loudly, no eating, no music without headphones. The Japanese won't say anything to you, but they will look at you in a way that will make you wish they had screamed at you. Queuing is sacred, and when paying in any store, do not put the money directly into the cashier's hand. There is a small tray on the counter. The bill goes there. The change comes from there. Don't ask why, just do it. Knowing the daily rules is useful. And we come to the moment you were waiting for, number one. The places that once you see them, you can no longer imagine not having seen them. Get ready. Lake Kawaguchi in Yamanashi is where Mount Fuji is reflected in the water. In summer, fields of violet lavender surround it. In autumn, the maples dye it red. It is one of those postcards that you don't believe actually exist until you see them with your own eyes. Shirakawa-go is a village declared a World Heritage Site hidden in a mountain valley. Its houses have thatch roofs so steep they look like hands clasped in prayer. In winter, with everything covered in snow and the houses illuminated from within, it looks straight out of a fairy tale. It only lasts a few weeks. Whoever sees it, forgets it. And on Miyajima Island, in front of Hiroshima, is the famous Red Torii Gate of the Itsukushima Shrine. When the tide rises, it seems to float on the water. Wild deer walk among tourists as if they own the place, because in a way they do. 3 destinations, 3 experiences that are unlike anything you have seen before. And that is Japan, a country that surprises you, confuses you, fascinates you, and doesn't let you go. Tell us in the comments which of these facts shocked you the most, and have you already seen the next video that we left for you on the screen? Because if you liked this one, you are going to love that one. See you there.